Welcome back, friends and comrades in arms, to part 4 of the Into the Breach Rusting Hulks playthrough on unfair difficulty. I'm just showing you the state of my mechs and my pilots. We've got a pretty highly upgraded pulse mech, the jet mech with guided missile and Morgan Lejeune, and then the rocket mech has been gutted and is now basically just a firing platform for the very powerful refractor laser with Kai Miller. And our fourth and final island before the end of the run is Detritus Disposal. My idea was that this would be a real easy final island. I struggled through the third island on Pinnacle, but this should be easy peasy, breezy, beautiful. And to start us off, we've got Defend the Disposal Unit. You could not ask for a better first mission. Basically a free mission. You almost don't even need to try, because you have the giant 5-tile death spammer that is the disposal unit itself. But, as you will soon see, we honestly don't even really need its help, because we have this laser that I've talked so much about. It's time to show you just how horrifying, just how effective it truly is. I barely even pay attention to the Op-4. I can afford to get sloppy. That is how just utterly devastating this weapon is. Specifically fully upgraded and with Kai, you can see that it does 6 damage, dropping off from 5-4-3 down to 2 with boosted. It's just absurd. Very few things in the game can survive the point-blank attack from a boosted refractor laser. And to make matters even more in my favor, Detritus will have a lot of acid, which will double weapon damage. So if something is hit with acid, it will do 12 damage point blank, which is just guaranteed destruction. Even something like a Scorpion Leader will, it just can't survive. So, I don't have to pay that hard attention, as long as I'm just, keeping the board cleared out. We have lots and lots of options available to us. This is our 4th island. We are flush with power cores. So it should be, by this point in the run, what they call a snowball effect. The snowball gets bigger and bigger as it goes downhill. Harder to stop. Some people don't like the snowball effect, even on unfair. They think that it starts to kind of rob the game of a certain amount of challenge. I could have just pushed that Plasmodia Leader and had it been destroyed by the acid. Whoops. But as you can see, at this point in the run, I'm so confident in my abilities that I'm not even paying that much attention to optimal plays. You will see that I will be paying less attention to deployment. And the fact is, I can just afford to be a little bit more shoot from the hip here. I will just have the disposal unit kill the bouncer in the hopes that Adam will be squeezing out just a little bit more XP. And all of these spawns will be acid. They'll emerge in acid, so it's just, it's fine and dandy like a hard candy Christmas. Get a little bit more XP for Adam, and why not? Just finish him off with the acid. And we are in the clear, easy, no sweat, less than 5 minutes into the island, and we're 25% of the way to the final boss fight of the island. We almost don't even need commentary for this island. So, checking out Scrap Heap. I'm tempted to do this mission next because it will unlock more missions. It's, positioned to expand my options. And I wasn't honestly liking the look of that Waste Chambers mission, even though I probably could have done it without too much trouble. But we're, you know, I'm so well equipped that I'm actually not that concerned about accumulating a lot of rep, about getting extra power cores. So we do this nice easy mission. We've got shielded buildings. We've got starfish and moths. Starfish usually aren't too bad. Moths can be a big pain. But I'm doing so much damage that even alpha moths will not survive for long. And then, you know, we get a Plasmodia leader, which isn't really that much more difficult from a normal alpha Plasmodia. We've got the Shell Scion, giving our enemies the armored trait. But we are doing just so much damage that we can just power through the Shell Scion. We've only got really one legitimate threat to the grid, which Kai just immediately destroys. That moth is just going to be hitting a shielded building. Same with the Plasmodia, whatever that thing is. It's a little greeble. It's minion. I think I decide to just smoke it with aerial bombs. That means it'll just sit there, not doing anything for the rest of the mission. Because it can take no actions and it cannot move. And then, the pulse mech. Looks like I just elected to, you know, I'm going to lose a shield, so I put a shield. And we can tank the starfish attack, we'll be fine. We've got health to spare. You will also notice me on this island. I will be very aggressive with spawn blocking. The idea behind it is kind of twofold. One, you know, we're doing so much damage, we're clearing the enemy out so quickly that we can afford to just sit on spawns. And, you know, because most of my pilots are very high XP, we don't really get that much benefit now from getting more experience. So just preventing Vec from arriving just makes, you know, it makes my job easier. It saves me headache. You can see I'm getting a little fancy with the teleporters, which is fun on this mission type. Means I can kind of maneuver around. You saw me earlier push a moth into the red teleporter, which canceled its attack. You always want to be mindful of those little tricks on detritus. Now, again, you can see a little bit of sloppy misplay. I could have, from the other direction, hit the Plasmodia leader onto the Vex spawn, preventing, you know, having to deal with another moth. But I'm not worried about it. I probably sound, you know, smug and somewhat intolerable because I'm just so cocksure. And that's honestly, that's a dangerous mindset to get into the habit of doing. Even on unfair difficulty, you do want to be, you know, you want to stay a little bit frosty. But things I just, you know, I can tell things are going well. So I decide to just tank a shielded grid building, keep our spawns as blocked as we can, and it will also kill the Plasmodia leader. So on our final round, we've just got a single bouncer to deal with. No big deal. I think in order to give Adam just a little bit XP, I decide to set Adam up for a kill. And that's a wrap. I guess I will just go clean up the map. Why not? And notice how shorter this video is compared to the last one. I think Pinnacle took me almost 40 minutes, 43 minutes. This one, I think, takes me 24 minutes. And I'm pretty sure I don't lose any buildings. It's just a clean, perfect island. Oh, I was so happy to get Archimedes here. Not only did we get Archie, but we got him with a +1 reactor, so I immediately swap out Adam for Archimedes. He's excellent in the pulse mech. So now we've got just even more crazy flexibility. You know, Archimedes, he can shield things, he can push things, and then he can literally just go and move somewhere else really well. He can body block an attack, he can block a spawn. He's so good. He's one of the top tier pilots in my opinion. Love Archimedes. Now we look at the landfill. The Acid Storm mission modifier I find to be pretty player-sided. And with my current loadout of the refractor laser, this is just going to be a bloodbath. A Vec bloodbath. So we've got the Starfish Leader. The Shell Scion is functionally useless. It cancels out the armor is canceled out by the map-wide acid effect. So I believe Kai will just get a clean 3 kills out the gate. Almost 4. Get some shields up. I will defend that building from the Moth's attack. Then I think I just complete the... No, I finish off the Plasmodia. Okay. And that'll get Morgan charged up. It's funny, I barely use Morgan's ability on this island, just because Kai is so devastating. Morgan will often spend multiple missions just sitting there, you know, ready to use the boosted damage, and it just becomes completely superfluous. So now I destroy the controller. So mission accomplished as long as I don't take 4 or more mech damage. We even can, you know, shuffle around, try and keep the enemy side of the board in the formation we want it to be in. The game starts to, you know, lose track of what's important here. Doesn't even attack the grid. Go ahead, Morgan. Have yourself a treat. So you can see here just how effective aggressive spawn blocking can be. You know, assuming you've got the power to just keep cleaning up the fresh Vec. You can really constrain the amount of enemies you have to deal with. I would actually be shocked, honestly, if any of these missions ended with any of the Vec still alive. Oh, and you can see me using the repair field passive, I think, for the first time. Just washes all of that acid off my squad. That's nice. So another easy mission. Yeah, it's the kind of... Often my philosophy on the approach to Unfair is, you know, if you can survive the more difficult early islands, you want to set yourself up to just a very easy final island, and hopefully final mission. It doesn't always shake out that way. Sometimes you gotta fight the whole time. And that might make for more tactically compelling and strategically interesting content. But, you know, maybe it's nice to showcase what you can do with just a really OP loadout. This is a very favorable map seed, as we've seen before. This map with the multiple pools of water. So I like my chances here. Although I do think I wind up fiddling a little bit with deployment more than I did on previous missions here. See, I even consider dropping the pulse mech in the water to start, because it's, you know, it's not going to get webbed. I thought maybe it would be in a better position to start pushing things into the water. But I think I elect against doing that. After I look at like where the starfish can go. The starfish going on initiative count 6 is basically incapable of doing much of anything. I place the pulse mech in the rear with the idea of maybe using it to shield buildings I might have more trouble reaching. And we're off. I believe our first time pod comes down. You'll get 2 of them over the course of your 4th island, similar to the 3rd island. The Firefly Leader actually winds up helping us out. It'll destroy one of our mission objectives for us. We just have to move out of the way. And due to how the rest of the enemies positioned themselves, the starfish are doing nothing. So we're in good shape. Kai actually doesn't wind up defending any grid tiles here. We just get to kill a moth. But I noticed that the other moth will kill itself with bump damage when it moves backwards after it attacks. So, as long as I defend that grid tile, if I can shield it, then the moth will clean up after itself, as it were, and do a little bit of chip damage on our mission objective. I could have positioned myself a little bit better and also got Morgan shielded, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. And with our second move, with Archimedes, we can immediately put the pulse mech into the thick of the action. Much stronger board position for it. So don't work harder, work smarter. Kai asks a very fitting question. But the answer is you do need to be here, Kai. You're a vital part of our strategy. It is thanks to your horrifically overpowered arrogant boost passive. So we've really only got 3 threats to the grid, the starfish and the plasmodia tentacle. There we go. Get extra shields going, and we can clear most of our enemies. And why not block a spawn? Give us a 2v3 here. It is moth time. So we can finish our mission objective. Keep that grid well defended, and keep the spawns nice and blocked. Learning the effectiveness of spawn blocking is, I don't know, it's tricky. The stars really have to align. If you screw up the dance of blocking spawns, you can actually put yourself in worse shape. Spawn blocking needs to be, like, very consistent. There's a tempo to it. And I'm hoping if you watch this video, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You know, I'm doing very strong on spawn blocking here because I'm doing so much damage that I'm keeping the enemy numbers down. And I have the advantage of Archimedes. He is an amazing spawn blocker tempo pilot. Just because you can have him go do whatever you need him to do, and then he can return to the enemy side of the board to keep blocking spawns. And in a self-shielding mech like the Pulse mech, it's free real estate. You know, he's not even taking damage. It's great. So here we are on our final mission. It's the Bouncer Leader. On a pretty favorable map seed. I like this seed, honestly. It's, you know, the enemy side of the board is just kind of empty with mountains, which is good for us, good for our laser beam. We've got the Bouncer Leader, a Plasmodia Leader, 2 Bouncers, a Starfish. And look, I don't even think about deployment. I don't even think that the Bouncer Leader is going to try and, you know, do heavy damage to the grid. Because I don't need to think anymore. I've replaced my brain with the boosted refractor laser. Look at all those problems. They're just going away. Beautiful. We can get Morgan started. Not that they really need the assist. And I can share the shield love, which is nice on Kai. It means she can start blocking spawns and she won't lose her boosted ability. Or they won't lose their boosted ability. I think I read on Reddit that Kai's pronouns might be they, them. Maybe I was wrong about Morgan. But I don't know where you can look this information up. I don't know if it was from the devs. There's precious little, you know, lore. Yeah, why waste Morgan's boosted ability when you can just have them sit there and let Kai do all the work? The Plasmodia projectiles will destroy themselves, so we'll have a nice 2v3. If I can keep this series going long enough, and we get to the bomber mechs, I can showcase just how powerful spawn blocking can be. They are the masters of spawn blocking. With a little bit shuffling, I can even prevent all damage from spawn blocking. So we're down to a 1v3 on our final turn. Just a moth. Poor guy. He's just a silly little guy. Do a victory lap shield dispersal. And that will wrap up Detritus. No grid damage, no sweat. And it just goes to show how absurdly powerful the refractor laser can be. And then to add just kind of further snowball potential to us, we get Rosy Rivets with Popular Hero. So we're just gonna have we're gonna be flush with cash, and then indeed I can just sell all of my bench. We're onto the final mission now. There's no reason to have them anymore. The available equipment is interesting. 2 prime class weapons that are, you know, kind of out of position. The acid launcher, which is a pretty good science class weapon, honestly. And then I see the heavy rocket. And since Morgan has conservative, we're going to get extra value out of that. So we'll buy that for the jet mech. Then I dump the rest into cores, because our grid is already maxed out. And I believe what I can also do is sell the repair field passive for 1 more core. And then, since Kai doesn't want to take damage, we don't really want to bother upgrading their health. And the Pulse Mech also is self-shielding, so they don't really need the health upgrade. So I can just dump all of these cores into the jet mech and turn it into just a killing machine. And we are ready for the final mission. It's gonna be a good old goof. Join me next time, and we will wrap up the Rusting Hulks. like and subscribe.